Howdy, howdy, and welcome to another wonderful trash take. I wanted to make this video because before Charlie died, there was some big conversations about crime in America. And Charlie's senseless death has kind of overshadowed some things, but I want to switch back into different gears perspective. Charlie's death should not be forgotten, but it's not something I want to make 20 YouTube videos on and milk to the end of the extent. With that being said, I want to talk about crime in America. Before Charlie died, there was a Ukrainian refugee who I had previously made a video about who was killed by a 14 times convicted criminal with a history of violence and mental illness who a judge decided to set a zero cash bail bond to allow him to go back on the street without paying bail before he killed her. This is necessary because this shows Democrats and their dogshit crime policies are the reason average people in America are suffering. And this girl who got murdered suffered. With that being said, I just happened to see that Trump has also finally announced he's going to mobilize the National Guard in other states. Previously, he'd done it in D.C., which is Washington, D.C., which is not to be confused with Washington State. When I was like 10, I'd always get them confused and was always so wondering how they go from the East Coast to West Coast so fast. That's a sidebar. The point being, Washington, D.C. has had the National Guard and some of the agencies there mobilized to help control the crime, to get criminals off the streets, to help facilitate arrests, and to help ensure the peace is maintained. And I don't see an issue with it. And I know a lot of people are like, he's weaponizing the military. He's the commander-in-chief. It's literally like his title is to use the military how he sees fit. He's not using it to line up Democrats and shoot them in the back of the heads like people on Twitter would make you believe. He's stopping people that are trying to break into cars, that are trying to rob people. He's putting the military and making them patrol so criminals are less likely to shoot someone because there's a dude with a fucking AR watching you from 2 feet away. Let's use some common sense. A criminal's less likely to act up if they think they're going to get fucking shot. That makes a lot of logic, I know, and you might hate me for it, but whatever. But I happen to see that apparently he was on a segment with Fox News and is talking about weaponizing in some other states, so I wanted to actually sit, watch, and see, and listen, and commentary. I like making videos where I talk and rant. Unfortunately, my brain's a little too scattered. I'll jump from idea to idea to idea, so if I can watch something else and keep my thoughts a little more grouped up and a little more articulate for me to be able to actually make some rational commentary, if you will. But I digress. Here's the video. I'll post the video in the description like I always do, but here we go.
Meanwhile, President Trump revealing live on Fox and Friends that Memphis, Tennessee will be the next city where federal agents, National Guard will be cracking down on crime. It's among the worst.
I was about to say, Memphis, Tennessee, I think is the worst place in the nation, right? Am I missing? I had to drive through Memphis, Tennessee during the middle of the Black Lives Matter protests in 2020, and holy fuck, that place looked like a shithole, and I thought it was because of the Black Lives Matter protest. And then I just found out that was just Memphis, Tennessee. The place I drove through didn't even have protests. That's just how it normally fucking looked. I was like, what? Really? Like, that shit cracked me up. That place, it looks like an atomic bomb blew up, and that's the remnants of society that's left afterwards. It's like a fucking scene out of Fallout. That city's so decayed and destroyed and hideous. It's terrifying to think that that's in America. It's a third world country, basically.
In the country.
Besides
Madeline
the Bass
Rivera
Pro
is in
Shop,
Washington
obviously.
with more how the Democratic mayor is responding, unlike the Republican governor. Hey, Maddie.
Hi, good morning. So local officials in Memphis say they're aiming to have a conversation with the state's governor and the federal government as they try to figure out what the operation in their city will look like. They want to know basic questions, including what type of federal resources will be sent.
They need to know what's going to be sent and where it's going to be placed. You need to find the highest crime areas where basically society has left these people to fend for themselves, and that's where the National Guard needs to be. I want people in America to feel like an American. I don't want them to be cowering in fear of criminals because society has abandoned them. That is never how we should have ever been. And the fact that it has gotten this bad and people still get reelected is fucking crazy. You can fix this problem. You don't vote for the dipshit that's enabling high crime. First way to start. Trump is showing people that you don't have to live in fear every day of your life. And his message is extremely powerful and it's resonating with the average citizen. Not the rich elite who has armed security everywhere they go. It resonates with the average citizen who's working maybe 2 jobs, who, if their car gets broken into, now has to pay a $500 bill to fix the window that they can't afford. That's who he's helping with this.
And when they're expected to be deployed, this is what the president said.
We're going to Memphis. Memphis is
That's the next city.
Deeply troubled. And the mayor is happy. He's a Democrat mayor. The mayor is happy.
Interesting.
And the governor, Tennessee.
See, this is a nonpartisan issue to me. It's 100% nonpartisan. Both Democrats and Republicans should be coming together to crack down on crime. We had the border open for 2.5 years, allowing who knows how many criminal cartel gang members into this country that are now among the populace, recruiting more members and starting more gang activity cells to rob people from state to state to state. It's like in New York. So the funniest thing that ever came out of New York was the gangs of people that would rob people in New York, because if you got caught in New York, it was catch and release like fucking fishing, and then they would take their stolen goods to Florida to sell it, and they wouldn't rob people in Florida. Why? Because if you're an illegal and you rob someone in Florida, getting deported is the best thing that could happen to you. You'd probably get shot. They have fucking guns in Florida. So the criminals are smart, and they go to the disarmed parts of the country to rob them. And it's common fucking sense. Anyone with a brain could figure out this loophole. But politicians want to act like it's not happening, because then they have to admit what they did was wrong, and they don't have the self-reflection or the humility to admit that.
The governor's happy, and we'll straighten that out.
National Guard.
National Guard and anybody else we need. And by the way, we'll bring in the military too if we need it.
Memphis Mayor
Guard
Paul Young,
paramilitary?
though, indicates he's not happy with the National Guard coming to his city, saying he didn't ask for them, but since they're...
Wait, who is? Who's not happy?
And by the way, we'll bring in the
He said
military
the
too
governor
if we need
was.
it.
Memphis Mayor Paul Young, though, indicates...
The governor's happy, but the mayor isn't. Why would a mayor not be happy that the National Guard that is coming to lower crime in your state is appearing? This isn't Nazi Germany where they're going to be executing Democrats like Democrats keep saying all over Twitter. Rhetoric, by the way, hasn't stopped. Charlie Kirk's death, I figured might tone down rhetoric. It's not. It's not at all. The rhetoric is probably only getting worse at this point. You have Trump on stage saying it's not. You had Trump, I think, on Fox and Friends as well, directly calling out the rhetoric, saying this isn't the right-wing people. It's the leftists in social media calling everyone they disagree with a fascist, because that's what they did. Look at Kamala Harris on the debate stage on CNN. She openly said Trump is a fascist. This is not language that they're using because they feel for them. They're using it because it's sharp, and the political and historical context behind it is terrible, because they know connecting him to Nazi Germany is basically saying he's the bad guy, so don't vote for him. That's what it boils down to.
He's not happy with the National Guard coming to his city, saying he didn't ask for them, but since they're coming, Young says he'll cooperate.
I do not support the National Guard. However, they are coming. The mayor doesn't...
Bro, they got an actual fucking pimp at the fucking press conference. Y'all see that? That man's a fucking pimp. What the hell? That hat's fresh as fuck.
have a say or the authority to stop them from coming. And so
No. I mean, he doesn't have the say or the authority to stop the National Guard from coming. Yet again, why don't you want the National Guard? Why?
my goal is to make sure that as they come, that I have an opportunity to work with them to strategize on how they engage in this community.
Yes, that's perfectly right. That is perfectly understandable. That's how it should be. But why are you upset? What is the issue?
Young says crime has been going down in Memphis, but the city has for years struggled with high crime rates and homicide numbers.
Yeah, Memphis is like the shittiest place in America. Literally, just Googling most dangerous cities in America, the first one that comes up is fucking Memphis. I know it's AI, but that cracks me up. And that's my issue with politics. This should be a fat fucking win for the American people, but even when Trump's doing something, he still has to say, I don't want Trump here. It's an appeal to Democrats that say, it's an appeal to the leftist media that basically says Trump's bad no matter what. So even when they agree with him, they can't agree with him.
Young says he's spoken with D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser as the federal order winds down in the nation's capital. Bowser says the federal police surge in D.C. did reduce crime here. As the president turns his attention south, the Washington Post reports the Trump administration has drafted a proposal to activate 1,000 Louisiana Guard troops to focus on the state's urban centers. It's not clear if the state's governor made a request. Guys, back to you.
The biggest lie sold to the American people this year, I'd say, is that you have to live with the criminals around you. It's been propagated by the leftist media and the Democrats in office. They have been soft on crime for too long, and American citizens are dying. This is something that was directly seen with the Ukrainian refugee dying. This was senseless violence. There is senseless violence every day in America. Why can't we do something about it? Why can't we have a better future for our why can't we have a better society for our fellow citizens and everyone around us? You can't have a pursuit of happiness if you're worried about constantly getting robbed, mugged, or murdered just for being on the wrong street after 8 p.m. Let's be real, that's not how anyone should live. I'm in favor of this. I am. I could see maybe some situations, some niche situations occurs where some National Guard fucks up and decides to actually mows someone down unjustly. And I hope he will get fully tried in that situation if it does happen. But this seems like a fat win. I genuinely cannot see why this is a bad thing. I think the only reason it's being led to be a bad thing is because news will refuse to give Trump a win no matter what he does. He could solve cancer tomorrow and they tell you that he's getting everyone killed and that he's denying your right to die. And I hate it. Hopefully the fruits of the labor show and some Democrat dogshit people that are soft on crime and the judges that are soft on crime start getting removed from political power to actually make a change in these communities. Because if you have communities where it's just catch and release, then as soon as the National Guard leaves, it's going to go right back to the way it is. This is a short patch on a big problem. The bigger problem is the policies in place have absolutely failed, and the people in power don't want to admit it because it's their policies. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you like the video, comment down below or subscribe. I hope I see you guys in the next one. Until then, later.